5,555 pounds. How about that? Open range 2410 rear living ultralight coming in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Incredibly popular. I think one of the, well, there's a bunch of reasons. This is carpetless, it's pet friendly. It was the first ultralight to actually publish proven 0-degree testing data. Whisper Quiet Air, another industry exclusive feature, with a carpetless extra deep slide out. All of this at 5,500 pounds and under 30 feet tip to tail, including tongue and bumper. One of the better qualities of this model right here is that even with this extra deep slide, when it's fully closed, you have basically full access to everything in this RV short of the entertainment center. If you need to get in here and pack the fridge, pack the pantry, get to anything in the kitchen, you can utilize basically anything you're going to need in the kitchen. As well as obviously quick, easy access to the bathroom. And hey, if you just want to jump in and grab a coat, we got a handy little coat closet to take care of you there as well. It's almost like they really thought of everything. And I think this one's, it's just such a great mix of high class, but smaller. Not everybody is looking for that big 45-foot retirement rig. There's a lot of people who are looking for something that is just nice, but small. And sometimes small can sometimes mean like cheap or chintzy, and that's not going to be the case here. Like case in point, this was a industry first ultralight with whisper ducted air conditioning, like one of those big luxury fifth wheels. They are also very good at having an aggressive lighting package in here that makes one heck of a difference. Now, as far as I know, I have not seen another lightweight on the market in the last 2 years to match the whisper ducting that we have here in the open range. There are some non-lightweight products, like say a Jayco Eagle travel trailer that might have that, but nothing in the lightweight market that I've found. You'll also find just windows all over the place. Now, I had wicked sunlight coming in the back one here, so I did have to pull that, like, basically blackout pleated shade, but it also gives you a very good look at how much of a blackout shade that is. Now, I don't use fisheye camera tricks. I don't have to deceive people into purchasing at Haylett RV. We can earn your business with good information and good service here, and that's what we do every single day. So this is a open feeling vaulted ceiling. It's not just a camera trick of the lens or anything like that. I also like pointing out how both the sofa side and slide side windows will all open for airflow here. Now real quick, we're going to come back to this in just a second, but I do want to zero in first on this forward facing, direct facing, like direct TV facing basically theater seat back here. It does have heat and massage, which is nice. You've got the reclining features, and that's, I think, one of the nice things about this floor plan that has made it stand out against so many other brands who built, like, in this floor plan, we've had versions of this available in, let's see, the open range, the Jayco called the 24RL J Feather, in Apex, in Passport called it previously 2520, now 2521 RL, and now the Winnebago 2500 as well. And this was the first and for the longest time the only one to offer theater seating, and they're still offering nicer seating than any other brand that I've seen build this floor plan here, with a lot of really smart, simple execution points. Now, if what you're looking for is that extra height bed or something, then take a look at our 2521 Passport, which is basically the same layout, just in a different brand with a slightly different seating arrangement. That being said, I still think that this layout offers a lot of good guest sleeping should the need arise, which is one of the main benefits of having this exceptionally large U-dinette over here. And this is a full-size U-dinette. That is one of those things I've seen a lot of brands try to chintz on, is they'll build something the size of a 2-bench dinette with just a little pretend bench thrown in the back of it. But you also see that these theater seats can also recline back. So the U-dinette can easily sleep an adult or a pair of kids. But we found through customers sharing experiences as well as our own personal experiences with our own kids here at Haylett RV, the kiddos don't mind hanging out on a theater seat overnight. So if you've got a whole bunch of grandkids or, just little kids, man, you can probably make this thing work pretty nicely, at least for a weekend, no sweat. Another thing this model does very nicely is storage. And for a small RV, especially a small RV based on living space, you actually get great storage capacity here. You can see that you can get to those dinette bench ends very simply and easily. And then above the rear sofa, you see that we don't have just like something that sort of looks like a cabinet. These are good full-depth cabinets. This is all pocket-screwed cabinetry here with hardwood cabinet door frames, so stuff that's going to last you. That's the goal behind it. And as we swing around, you see that you've got like a full halo of storage. Now, Open Range does something a little bit different up here with this funky little pocket. This is actually where, if you are interested in putting like a little satellite brain or expanding your entertainment options, this is actually an entertainment slot. It's not really good for a lot of kitchen storage, but it's perfect for those flat, horizontal entertainment devices. And rethinking something like that, that's just classic Open Range 101. Now, again, we've got windows all over the place. They all open for airflow. We have pressed membrane countertops. Now, not just the kitchen counter, but the bathroom counter and even the dining tabletop that we've seen, they all have this sealed edge pressed membrane material right here, so that if you do happen to spill a drink or splash some water, no sweat. Now, this little chunk of corner space right over here, this is a very common point where people who look at floor plans like this and they say, this is stupid, you can't get to that storage space because the sofa's in the way. Well, if you employ the ancient Chinese art of reaching, it's really not that bad. It also makes a perfect little appliance corner or phone charger station because you have both household outlets as well as USB outlets there, and you have more kitchen outlets over here above as well. So this one actually has really good appliance space, and by dropping that countertop right there, they allowed for a bigger window on each side of that theater seat. And more windows means more light. Lighter feels brighter, brighter feels bigger, and bigger feels better. So all those little things I think kind of work together to make this very popular. Now you'll notice right here we do have a stainless under sink, and you have flush mount press membranes sink covers as well. So what that gives us over here is just a maximum amount of countertop prep space in conjunction with the flush mount stovetop here. Now, if we do have somebody on the sofa at night, you do have little backlit nightlight knobs here as well. Now, they've done a great job of utilizing the under counter space as well as they possibly could. And they've done a couple things here that is, again, just open range doing open range things that I really appreciate. Again, plywood box drawers that are full extension, and they have what I like to call a pull-out perfect pantry. You see that tall vertical middle drawer. It's actually a 3-shelf storage organizer, and I love that the storage comes to you, so you don't have to get on your hands and knees to get to it. Now, not only are they giving you a full drawer below the oven, but it actually just kind of looks like part of the oven, and then down below it, as part of their pet-friendly initiative, you can see that they have that cute little pull-out pet drawer there. But if you're not a pet camping enthusiast, no sweat. You can just simply remove the little insert in the dishes, and, there you go. Now you've just got another drawer in the kitchen that you could keep little stuff. They're just very good about not wasting anything. Now we have a standard 8 cubic foot fridge freezer right here, so you have 33% more cold storage than a lot of brands who build a similar version of this floor plan. And you actually do have good pantry space as well. This is one of those things that it's really hard for me to get a good still photo of this entry corner right here. But as I open this up, you see that you've got just tons of pantry space or linen space, because it is right next to the bathroom, with a nice little coat hanging closet right by the entry door. So, I mean, again, I've got this whole thing blown up just to give you tons of storage. But being a rear living room, entertainment center is a big part of that equation if you really think about it. But before we get there, I do want to take a second to really look at the slide out here, because this is an industry exclusive thing. I used the word pet friendly earlier, especially in conjunction with the handy little pet dish bowls, but this has an industry exclusive quality right here. This is a 39-inch deep carpetless floor flush slide out. So it's 3 inches deeper than anyone else in the lightweight market. It is carpetless and floor flush, which no one else does together. You can get carpetless in some RVs, but you have to have a step-up slide-out with a toe kick that, kind of makes it a little more cumbersome. This is a little smoother and easier. So this is a completely carpetless, easy camping model here. Sweep it up, Swiffer out, whatever. You don't have to, you're not scrubbing carpet. Remember, too, along with things like that whisper ducted air conditioning that we're not seeing, because if you don't see the square, you won't hear the air. This is, again, a very high-end feeling RV in a lighter weight category, with a better insulation package than you typically get in lightweights, because it's not just an enclosed belly, it's insulated and heated with a cyclical heat system. We'll talk more about that outside. Now, a little update on the entertainment center from previous generations. The TV pivots out now. Now, in this floor plan, it never really mattered much because the TV always directly faced that beautiful theater seating, but it is nice to be able to stand at the kitchen and kind of keep an eye on things, or tilt it toward the dining arrangement. And of course, we've got Bluetooth DVD below that. Now, little detail stuff like the little door stopper here for the bathroom door, so the bathroom door handle doesn't smash into anything. Things like that are just really smart, detailed additions. The other thing it's doing is it's making sure the bathroom door doesn't crush that thermostat right there, because that's not something you want to have happening. Another thing that you may have noticed is missing, and that is a good thing by intention, are floor vents. There are no floor heating vents here. Open Range doesn't do that anymore in any of their products, actually. It did mean that they gave up a slight amount of airflow, but a larger furnace and a heavier insulation package were enough to more than make up for that. Now, we kind of saw that when the RV's slides close, it's very accessible, but your bathroom is always going to be here for very easy access. What's also nice is that it's a dual entry variety. So especially if you do have a guest, if everyone wants to be able to get to the bathroom without having to walk past another sleeping person, you can. And just excellent floor space in here. You get out of the shower, or if you're using the toilet, you've got plenty of leg room. You actually have room to bend over, get dressed. It is a nicer porcelain stool. And again, pressed membrane countertop with a stainless bath sink. And it's actually surprisingly deep, and they give you a very nice amount of countertop space around that as well. Now, our corner shower over here is actually surprisingly tall person friendly for a few reasons. One, vaulted ceiling. Two, skylight placed right above the shower head where your head's going to be. So it gives you the extra room organically where you're going to stand. Now we've got this big radius shower for plenty of elbow space when you are in there, which is very nice for a long arm guy like me. And an easy step-in shower, not that big 14-inch step-up travel trailer tub. Now in the past, these had this interesting... Oop, come on, camera. What are we doing here? Focus for me. The camera's got ADD. It loses focus sometimes. I just have to kind of play with it, and we're back in business. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, up here in the bedroom, last year, previous generations, this had this interesting Camp Queen with a, like, extension cushion that you could put in there to make it a 60 by 80 queen. And they said, you know what? We already left the room for a 60 by 80 residential queen that you can walk right around here, no problem. What are we doing with this goofy spacer block? Wouldn't life be better if we just had the bigger bed? So they just made it a bigger bed, period, every single day of the week. It does have easy lift storage below it. You see that you have easy access, wide open side stands with household outlets right up by the headboard, which makes this unbelievably CPAP friendly. You also have a drawer on each side of the bed, very handy for your little personal items, and a little laundry chute right there next to that drawer that you can basically just drop yesterday's clothes down into the front pass-through into a laundry basket so that when you get home, you open the door, grab the basket, get the laundry going, then you can worry about the rest of it later because laundry takes time. And as long as we're standing here just to show you the easy lift nature of this bed, there you go. Plus, we have plywood below it, and you can see that it is totally separated from the interior storage. And then just little detail things, like each room of the RV has its own light switch, so you're not constantly going through. You can individually click lights if you want to, but now you don't have to. And that's a nice thing, just that ease of convenience. Little things like that cost a couple extra cents, but they're worth a couple extra dollars when you're camping. So it's kind of one of those things, it's not how much it costs, it's how much it's worth to you. And I do like the generally clean look of the exterior of these. There's so many RVs that have all these different color packages nowadays. But the one thing that always kind of strikes me is darker colors pick up more heat from the sun. Now, those color packages look good. And with the insulation bundle and the standard 15,000 BTU air that's on this, that should not be an issue ever. But the fact is, in a really hot climate, this is going to be one of the best performing lightweight trailers simply just due to the fact that the skin's white. You know, it makes a difference. Now you've got a bunch of neat, good little features going on here. Like we've got the easier operating magnet holdbacks on these pass-through doors, and it is a larger, wider baggage door on both sides of the RV to give you plenty of storage capacity down here. Now, one of the nice things about having a bigger door is that if you choose to bring a little portable solar panel that you could plug in right there, you've got more room to do it. But this is another one of those little open range differences, along with the PVC roof membrane that we'll talk about later. As opposed to like plastic screw trim right here, they're using a formed aluminum, and this is less susceptible to heat expansion and contraction. And basically, guys, what that means is that you've got a better seam holding the like the walls together. And you know, that's one area you obviously really don't want to have fail. You don't want to have a gap in a seam right there due to heat expansion and contraction, or like cheap exposed screw trim. You know, this is just going to hold better. There's a LED like light beam on the nose we'll probably see when we come back later with the awning out. I do want to point out power awning, power tongue jack, so setting and braking camp is simple. Bigger 30-pound propane tanks. The idea here is just making camping a little fun, a little easier, that kind of situation. Now we're parked a little close to this Jayco next to us, so I'll have to kind of do a little teleport maneuver to get to the other side. But before we do, I want to take a peek at the belly. Now, most of what's going on here, you can't see. And that's kind of the only disappointing part about it. They did such a good job hiding one of the best qualities of this RV. So, like a lot of trailers, this has an enclosed and forced air heated belly. But that's not where it stops. That's where this one starts. Because it also has dual layers of insulation in the belly and a cyclical heating system, so that you're never just pumping hot air into the belly, it's constantly flowing across the tanks. And that is one of the key areas and various differences that they put into this product that help it achieve a better cold camp rating as compared to the industry standard Ultralite. Now back here in the rear corner, once again, every window is going to open for air. Every window is also heavily tinted, which will keep the sun out as well as keeping the nosy neighbors out. But if it is a really screaming hot day, you pull that interior shade and really black out the sun, and you've done yourself a huge, huge favor. Now there's a neat little centralized docking station back here. It's simple, but it's effective. It gives you a place to hook up your freshwater, your freshwater holding tank fill, your cable satellite hookups, as well as a full outside shower with a little detachable system on here. What's neat is you can close and lock that so that maybe people can't monkey with your stuff. Just an extra security feeling. We have our brighter, longer lasting, safer because they flash faster LED tail lights back here. Also we've got this roof ladder standard to get up to the fully walkable roofing that you're going to find on every open range RV. And even up here, there are a few really key differences I want to point out. First is the fact that this is not a rubber or TPO roof membrane. There's nothing wrong with those things. Like if you look across this sea of inventory, 99% of the towable RV business uses the exact same membrane. They might call it something else, but it's the same thing. Open range is a little bit different, and they're very uncommon. They're one of the first I ever saw to do this. They have a, basically it's a pliable PVC roof membrane. And first of all, the skin itself has 15 years of guarantee versus 10 to 12 on a common RV roof. Now understand, it's the skin warranty. If somebody tells you, this camper has a 15-year roof warranty, and then they stop talking, you need to get away from them because they're telling you half the truth to dupe you out of all of your money. So the skin itself has a 15-year warranty, and what's nice is you don't ever have to condition it, do anything special to the roof membrane itself to maintain its warranty. That being said, you always have seals you need to maintain. So remember, there's a difference here between people that'll give you the whole story and people that only tell you half the truth. Now another difference here is not just the fact that this is very walkable, but the fact that we're walking on plywood decking, which is something that this shares in common with things like a Jayco RV, which is kind of a cousin to the open ranges. So they're, like a lot of times people say, you know, what's the difference between this and like a White Hawk? And the short answer is not a lot. They each have a couple differing qualities, but structurally they are pretty close to the same. Really, structurally, the only significant difference between this and something like a White Hawk is that this has a laminated floor, whereas a White Hawk has a tongue and groove plywood floor deck. That's just about it. Now, back here, of course, we're ready for a backup camera. If you want to bring along an RVQ grill, the bumper of these is always prepped and ready for one. But what's neat is we also have, remember that side stand beside the sofa? I've done that a few times, sofa. They didn't waste it. They turned it into an outside refrigerator space right here. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to like lug along an extra cooler or anything like that. It's just here for you, ready when you need it. And even this like off door here, we've got a nicer slam latch with a one-hand magnet catch, so that getting in and out of this thing's a little simpler. But I also like that it's not a 751 key lock. If you want to keep people out of your fridge, you can. Now, we've got outside TV hookups over here. We've got this beautiful set of aluminum wheels with an Equiflex suspension system. And that's a big thing I want to point out, because lightweight trailers, chances are you're buying a lighter weight trailer because towing and going is on your mind. Well, this will make the towing and the going simpler, smoother, a little more comfortable, because that will help eliminate a lot of the bucking and chucking that you experience during transit. Like if you have to hit the brakes real quick, that'll help absorb a lot of that forward to back herky jerkiness. Very nice also, like if you go over a set of railroad tracks or something like that. We also have excellent awning space on this one. They actually put the biggest awning on it they could. I've had people look at the sidewall and say, well, the roof is longer than the awning. Sure. But if they made the awning any longer, you'd have to either cover that sofa side window, which I don't think you want to do, or you'd have to cover the bedroom side window, which, again, I don't think you want to do. Now, there's a couple neat things going on with this awning. Not only did they make it as big as they could, but that gas strut's an auto rain dump feature. So if it rains on a rainy day, the awning will tilt itself down and leave itself there. But you don't really have to rely on that, because as you just saw, it's also a 2-finger easy tilt awning. If you want to crank this thing down with just 2 fingers, you can. It's also self-correcting, so that on a rainy day, if you leave it out like this all day on an angle, and then at night you tilt it shut, it'll correct itself. No sweat. Not going to break anything. And also, your speakers point down at your campsite built into the awning heads, as opposed to speakers that are mounted against the sidewalls of the trailer that are good for basically blasting the neighbors away. And they always think that Journey's Don't Stop Believing is a terrible song. You know, I don't think they've ever been a small town girl living in a lonely world. Anti-slam entry door, and note that the door cannot possibly interfere with the awning, so that you're not going to have a you know, a fight for space there, which can cause unfortunate, unexpected damage and collisions. Now, I mentioned that we also had that little nose beam lighting on the nose cap. There's a look at it. It's just a neat little offset, a neat little accent for evening type use. Also kind of handy for getting yourself hitched at night if it is a little bit dark out. And there you have it, guys. Whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, we do it all at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.